Yes, the one who said he preferred a break. When he lied about needing space, he was actually terrified of the truth you brought to light. You saw him as no one else saw him, without the carefully placed defenses, and that terrifies him. He mentally revisits that conversation with you more than he would like to admit. Actually, that was when everything changed. You said something that no one else had the courage to say. You asked the tough questions, pointed out the wound. And since then, he tries to erase that memory, but it's impossible. While you try to move on, he simultaneously moves on and doesn't. He goes out, talks with other people, smiles and pretends to be distracted, but every interaction is pale compared to what he felt when he was with you. What no one realizes is that he goes out to escape, mainly from himself. While you sleep, this person lives an exhausting repetition, wakes up, thinks of you, tries to distract himself but goes back to thinking of you, ruins his sleep because he battles the insomnia created by his own insecurities. And you know this because when he looks at you, even from a distance, you feel the mess behind his facade. He has found himself several times typing a message to you, a timid attempt to break the silence, but always erases everything. The words never seem enough, and he is afraid of looking ridiculous, afraid that you may no longer want him. You notice the contradictions from the beginning. He says he wants space but can't bear the thought of really seeing you go. He said he needed to focus on his career, but what he really needs is the courage to deal with the feelings you awakened. Yes, you who did all that he never thought was possible. And while he tries to distort his own actions, you continue to wait. Sometimes you think you've gotten over it, but then something happens. A song, a place, a phrase, even a smell, and you find yourself back to the starting point, trapped between reason and what the heart whispers. He imagines you in every corner of his life, on the couch, sharing a pizza. He imagines you on the road, with the wind messing up your hair. Yes, he, the one who said it wasn't the right time, visualizes a whole life with you, but does nothing because the fear of losing is worse than the fear of never trying. You know this because deep down you always knew he was more trapped than he seemed. You saw it in the small details, in the pauses that were too long between words. He hesitates because he is afraid of the truth, that maybe you have already passed him by. And while he resigns himself to this cycle of self-sabotage, you also imprison yourself in waiting. Looking at the phone, thinking about sending a casual message, but with each passing day the message seems more impossible to send. He really loves you, but pride and insecurity are treacherous companions. He wants to find a way to call you back, but every mental attempt is blocked by a wall built by himself. And while he watches you move on with your life, he sinks into the distance he created himself, secretly looking at your social media, watching your life flourish without him. He knows he made you feel like just a temporary passage, when in fact, you should have been a safe harbor. You still think about all of this, even without wanting to. You wonder if it's worth waiting or if it's time to build everything again without him. Your reason tells you to move on. The heart, however, whispers that the connection you had was real. He wishes for courage, but until he can gather enough, you both remain in limbo, a space where everything is possible but nothing is realized. And you feel trapped in this endless game, where time is the only thing moving the pieces, just like him. He thinks about you every day. It's not drama, it's a fact. He wakes up in the morning with your face on his mind and goes to sleep with your voice echoing. He carries a routine that includes you, even if you don't notice it. While you try to focus on other things, there he is, stuck in a loop of regret and longing. This guy who said he needed space actually needs courage, the courage that's missing to admit that you challenge him in a way that frightens him. You, with your ability to see beyond the masks he wears, made him feel vulnerable. Let's be honest, he still doesn't know how to deal with it. While you're there trying to find explanations or maybe keeping yourself busy so you don't think about him, he is dealing with an internal confusion that often paralyzes him. Yes, he goes out with other people. He tries to fill himself with distractions, seek fleeting satisfaction, but the silence always ends up screaming your name when night falls. He has imagined many times what it would be like to share a life with you. The same person who said he wasn't ready for anything serious visualizes you in his living room, in his kitchen, waking up by his side. But he's afraid of being discovered, afraid that you'll see the flaws he hides from everyone, afraid of not being enough. While you sleep, he opens your photos on his phone. He stares intently but never sends a message. He's written several, you know that, right? Messages that were written and immediately deleted, Because "Hi, how are you?" seems ridiculous after so much silence, and a simple "sorry" wouldn't compensate for what he did or what he failed to do. You might feel that something is happening beneath the surface, that no matter how hard he tries to keep his distance, he can't cut the invisible thread that still connects him to you. No, you're not imagining things. You felt it when he hesitated in that last conversation. You saw in his eyes an uncertainty that wasn't just yours. Let's be clear about this. He loves you. This is real and he knows it. It's just that he has no idea how to deal with it all without ending up hurting himself more or hurting you in the process. The truth is, he is terrified of the possibility of truly losing you, but pride and fear are holding him back from taking action. While you live your life, he watches from a distance. He stalks your social media in the middle of the night, sees who likes your photos, and then feels that pain in his chest. He compares you to everyone else who comes along, but no one can touch him the way you did. It's the depth you have, the intensity that he can't find in anyone else, and you continue with your life, maybe wondering if he still thinks about you. The answer is yes, he does. But that doesn't change the fact that he is paralyzed, trapped in his own insecurities and regrets. He knows he is wasting time. He knows you can move on at any moment. That is his nightmare. And even knowing all this, he remains there, waiting for a sign that never comes. You already knew this. And still, here you are reading this, having this brutal truth confirmed. And nothing changes because he still hasn't moved. And you, perhaps without realizing it, still wait for a move that may never come. This is the reality. And deep down, you both know it. But still, the silence continues, as loud as it has always been. That phrase you said once, it never left his mind. He relives that moment every day. The scene repeats in his mind like a movie countless times, during breakfast, in the shower, while he works, and before he sleeps. It is almost a torture, but it is also the only real connection he still feels with you. This person is trapped in an infinite loop of memories. He tries to move on, laugh, go out with friends, but you are always there in the corner of his mind. While you sleep, he is staring at the ceiling, turning the same words over in his head. He remembers the tone of your voice, the way you looked at him when you said those words. He pretends not to, but they have left a mark. You noticed this, didn't you? In those last conversations, you felt there was something he wasn't saying. You have this intuition, this keen perception that scares and attracts him at the same time. He says one thing but does another. He says he's fine, that he's moved on, but in the silence of the night, it's your name that echoes in his thoughts. He misses you, but he doesn't have the courage to admit it even to himself. He hides it like a precious and painful secret. He goes out with other people, but you remain the only one that truly makes a difference. He said that he needed space, but in truth, what he needed was courage. Courage to recognize that those words touched a vulnerable spot that he didn't want to touch. Courage to admit that he felt something so deep that it scared him. Meanwhile, you continue your life. You try to divert your constant thoughts from him, but it's difficult. You feel the absence, that empty space he left, which no one else can fill in the same way. You wait for a message, a call, something to say he still cares, but it never comes. He writes messages to you and deletes them. He rehearses dialogues in his head, but when the time comes, it's like he freezes. He thinks he's not ready to face his own feelings. Pride and fear are barriers he himself put up. You felt it when he hesitated to say the things that really matter. The brutal truth is that he loves you, and it consumes him every day. But he is paralyzed by the fear of losing you, of you having already moved on, and the only thing that he waits, hoping that you will feel the same. In the meantime, you face the reality that he is not here. He remains just one in your life. You are not imagining it. He really does think about you. But this does not change the fact that he does nothing. Thus, life goes on, both of you stuck in your own uncertainties, each waiting for the other to make a move, and time keeps passing, taking with it the opportunities that could have been. You already knew this, even if you never wanted to admit it. This person is obsessed with you, literally. Wakes up and you are the first thought. Goes to bed and your image is the last thing he sees before closing his eyes. During the dead hours of the night, 3 or 4 in the morning, he grabs his phone, opens your social media, stays there looking at your photos, your stories, rereading your old messages, leaves no trace, doesn't have the courage to interact, just watches silently. He said he needed space. Nonsense. What he really needed was courage. Courage to confess that you entered his life-breaking barriers he didn't even know existed. You, with your words, touched parts of him that he always hid from the world. And that scared him. Scared him in a way he didn't expect. And he ran away. Now he follows the same tired script. Goes out, drinks, smiles, but none of this fills the emptiness you left. When he comes home, your absence screams louder than anything. He tries to bury the longing in work, hobbies, and superficial encounters. Still, nothing fills him. He opens Netflix but can't focus. Plays loud music, but the silence still reigns within. He has thought about you inhabiting his world. Yes, he who said, "Not ready for something serious," has imagined you occupying his couch, sharing breakfast, getting to know the quirks of his home. Thought of, introduce you to his friends and proudly say, "This is her," but he's afraid. Afraid you'll run into the parts of him he's still trying to understand. Afraid you'll discover what's behind the confident smile. And fear paralyzes. He doesn't write, doesn't call, doesn't show up. But it's not because he doesn't think about you. On the contrary, it's because he thinks too much. The fear of making a mistake and losing you forever is greater than any hope of having you. Meanwhile, you live on, dealing with the consequences. You noticed when he started to pull away. You felt the change. You picked up on the signs even before. He knew what he was doing, and it hurts. Because his indecision trapped you in a cycle of hope and disappointment that you didn't ask for. You who also recall conversations. Remember the way he looked at you. Remember the words he said and how some of them became a part of you. Words that he might not know but that built memories in you. While he hides behind empty excuses, you wait. Not out of an inability to move on, but because you know that what you had was rare. It was real. All this while time stubbornly passes and pushes you into the unknown, and you're not imagining it. There's a reason for all this hesitation. He is as trapped as you are. The difference is that you face it head on. He doesn't. So he hides. Behind work, behind new people, behind anything that can mask reality. This person writes to you. He wrote dozens of messages, deleted them all. "Hi, how are you?" Seems pathetic after so much silence. "Sorry," sounds insufficient. For the pain he knows he caused. He replays every phrase he says to you in his head 1,000 times, but none seem good enough. The brutal truth is that he loves you. He knows this. He will see your face in every person who tries to replace you. He will hear his voice in the words of other people. But he still hasn't done anything because pride and fear of rejection keep him chained. And you carry on. You get up, live, smile, pretend everything is okay. But inside, you miss it. You miss what could have been, what you two could have built together. Time keeps passing, taking with it the chances he doesn't seize. In the end, you already knew this. You knew because you felt it, without needing confirmation. You knew because the answers he gave were never enough for you, because your intuition never deceived you. And the truth is, even in silence, the feeling is there, giant and immovable. None of this resolves anything, because the brutal truth is that knowing doesn't change the situation. He remains still, and you keep waiting for a move that might never come. And you both are aware of this, but remain chained by fear and uncertainty. And you already knew this.